Something very strange is happening in Canada. Now, if you haven't heard, this past week, there's been a lot of commotion with the wildfires that have started in Canada, but then it has blanketed all of the eastern seaboard and New York City. If you see some of these photos, it has just been absolutely crazy. And I believe that it's letting up a little bit, but there's some parts of New York and Pennsylvania, other places that are still suffering through this. It's been absolutely chaotic in the sense that it's shut down airports and flights and just various other things. Now, fires are not a new thing. Wildfires and this stuff happens seasonally, but it's sparking a lot of debate and questions because the government response, as well as some of the footage from the source of these fires, have been pretty crazy. Now, take a look at this map where from the College of DuPage, there is this satellite imagery. These fires all look like they've started at the same exact time. Now, I know that people who haven't done their research, they're going to give a cop-out and say, oh, it's a controlled burn, it's a prescribed burn. They're doing it for the fire suppression and to control all of this. But if you look at the details, right? The firefighters, these people in Canada, everybody around, this area, they know what that is. And you have to look at the sequence of events. This is not a controlled burn, but something is very suspect. And the other thing that has happened is that there's a lot of grassroots testimony from firefighters, everybody from, the Ontario area all the way to, I think, like Nova Scotia. I saw a video of a experienced firefighter saying that he offered himself and many other people that have been retired firefighters, decades of experience, their services. And many other people in town hall meetings in Canada saying, hey, we have our equipment. We can lend you our equipment. Why do you have to wait for your stuff, your governmental red tape, for us to help out? But the government had specifically told them, thanks, but no thanks. And so some of their responses, you can look this up, have been very suspect, as if they wanted to allow this to happen. Now, if you follow Q or many other people that have talked about this just being another cycle, rinse and repeat, same playbook, where it's just another deep state money laundering operation, meaning that it's going to be used intentionally to create fires. And as part of that, Antifa, the riots, and just this whole, what has happened since 2020, even before that, but to allow kickbacks to happen to some of the people in charge, the politicians. The relief money comes, it just suddenly disappears. It goes to certain things, but just millions and millions of dollars of funds from the government just coming in and then it just disappearing. So this stuff, a lot of people are talking about that from California and just many other states and even countries now. It's happening all over. And so you have to think about it this way. Why is it that it's happening at this time? Is it a distraction event? Could be. Is it something for which they want to usher in something else? I've talked about that before. They start up some kind of natural disaster or some chaotic event and you write it off as, oh, it happened because it was seasonal, it was normal, blah, blah, blah. And then only to bring in something else. People are being masked up again. People are being told to be cautious, stay indoors, all that stuff. So what's being queued up is some of the questions. So you have to ask these deeper seated questions because people are coming out from all over, out of the woodwork saying, okay, there's something strange going on. This is part of some other agenda. Why is it that they're going against reason and logic? So I'm saying this because more and more people, Canadians, U.S., Americans alike, everybody across the world, they're finding out that there's some other concerted agenda. And when you look into it, when you start asking questions, when you start seeing the grassroots testimony of people talking out and saying, this is the conversation I had, this is what they told us, this is what happened at the town hall meeting, a lot of it being recorded, you start to see something fishy is going on. So I'm saying all this because it's a lot of news is coming out, everything is ratcheting up, and you're going to see certain things in terms of the fighting back of the deep state, this last-ditch effort that they are on, and things to try to usher in, the central bank digital currency, they're going to try to usher in dominance and control, psychological warfare, just mind control and propaganda to scare you, to make you in fear, to cast doubt on certain things and processes. So all of this is happening for a reason. And what you don't want to do in this time is to just take things at face value. Take things and believe what they tell you to believe when there are other things happening at the grassroots level, when there are things that don't add up. You see the evidence before you, you see that there's simultaneous arson happening, and yet people don't investigate this or question it. They don't do deeper things. They just let things play out. And then you get the money, you get all this other stuff happening. And it's a little bit of a chaotic mess. So I'm saying this because whether you live on the eastern, coast, whether you are in Canada, whatever you're doing, prepare yourself, get ready, and make sure that you're not caught between a rock and a hard place when other things go down. Because we're talking here, recently somebody talked about solar flares and all this stuff, internet going out for 5-6 months. I think NASA said that. There's many other things at play to try to get you to submit, to think a certain way, and to bring this one world order into and ushering in for the deep state to try this last ditch effort. It's not going to work. A lot of information coming out, but be guarded, be ready, and just start questioning a lot of things. More people are waking up, more people are seeing the agenda and connecting the dots. So love you guys, be encouraged. Talk to you guys very soon.